Voting rights, white-collar crime, and legal issues related to discrimination are important topics. In this episode of Spider Talks, we'll talk about these issues with longtime University of Richmond law professor Hank Chambers. Government leaders often call upon Hank to share his expertise in these areas. Hank, I'm looking forward to discussing these important topics with you.
So am I. Good to see you, Kevin.
I find your research on voting rights to be very interesting. Can you tell me a little bit more about your work in the area?
I do work in what I think of as democracy studies. I try to make sure that I think about who gets to vote, who should get to vote, and how to count those votes as a way to make sure that our democratic notions get translated into actual representation and policy.
Your expertise spans far beyond our campus, and I know you speak frequently to teachers and the general public to educate them about the law. Why is that work important to you?
That work is critical. I could make a good living doing nothing more than talking to other academics and talking to my students when I'm in the classroom. But my job is to go out there and be a little bit more of a public intellectual. There's just no excuse for us to not go out and share what we know with the public. And I think it's my obligation, it's my duty to do so, not just as a professor, but also as a citizen.
What have you seen change the most in your area of law in the past decade?
Wow, that's a great question. In the criminal law area, I've seen more recognition of the discrimination that occurs. We're starting to recognize that what happened to George Floyd, what happened to Breonna Taylor, what happened to lots of folks should be remembered in a way that it hasn't been remembered in the past. That's probably the biggest thing that we've seen in terms of criminal law. In terms of employment discrimination, I think what we have seen is that people are themselves and should be themselves in the workplace. And what we've recognized is it's the work that tends to matter as opposed to who folks are. And that's something that really has changed in the last 10 years. For example, how we think about someone in the workplace with tattoos has changed completely in the last 10, 20 years.
Why is the University of Richmond the right place for you?
There are some folks who might think of themselves as being professors at the University of Richmond. There's some folks who may think of themselves as being University of Richmond professors. The thing is, you can do either one. You can also have an effect on society when doing the work that we do both in the classroom and outside the classroom around Richmond. It's the right place for me.
Well, thanks, Hank. I'm delighted you're here. Thank you for all of your research, your teaching, and your service to others.
I am also delighted that you're here, Kevin. It's great to see you.